My back is killing me tonight.
Would you like me to turn the lights off?
All of the lights. It's going to be really quiet. So
That's okay.
anyway. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, I'm due to renew my lease end of September.
Yeah,
It's going up again.
by 100.
Yeah, like
100-ish.
8% or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, I've looked around. There's not really anything. I've looked around in Calgary, and I don't want to live in the suburbs.
Yeah.
So if I move, it'll be out of the city if I can't afford something.
Okay. Well, there's lots of art. That's something. I think, yeah, we're, oh, oops. Did I? Yeah, I did. Instagram too. We're live and then live on Instagram too. Okay. Okay, we're live to everything. So, okay.
It's awful because we kind of needed it to be a slow night. We also needed it to be a very busy night. But we've got 4 days straight at the Blues Fest. And at the same time, I think we're quite low. We actually would have made rent this month, but there was more than a couple situations where people needed help. And so we just overextended ourselves, which is fine because it always comes back. But basically last November, I decided that we're going to do 1 year left. And then when I told people we're doing 1 year left, there's a bit of slowdown, a bit of ebb, like bigger ebbs and feels. I think that people are sort of coming in all at once.
Yeah.
And we've actually only the once came up short, which was we were really short.
It was like this month.
But we basically kind of looked at our savings and thought,
We can pull it.
if we, can I say shit? If we shit the bed every Wednesday between now and Christmas, we can kind of cover the cost without like losing our lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was kind of this slow starting last November, we would have been in real trouble. But I think we can kind of like float through, and I think it's going to be okay.
The only
And it is kind of nice that
pull up a chair.
try and look like 2 or 3 people. Okay, I gotta ask this question because I have not been following this story, and I deeply regret that because I coach wrestling and I used to really like wrestling, and I think if I hadn't blown out my knee, I would have wrestled in the university. I don't know how far I would have gone, but one day I woke up in the middle of the night. I didn't even know the Olympics were on. I flipped on the TV, didn't have cable. I had like 2.5 channels. One of my channels was like 3 or 4 channels at once. And it was David Agali. I'm not probably saying his name right, but he was in my weight class and he was the Canadian champion. And I was like, what fortuitousness. Like, I love wrestling and I wonder how far I would have gone. And I have friends that I used to beat that placed in the Pan American Games. And then I saw this young man step on the mat, and I could feel through the TV. On my best day, he would have destroyed me in seconds. It would not have gone very far. And but I don't watch the Olympics. But I need to know the story about. Jessica's been telling me a little bit. Somebody tell me what's the story about the chaos that ensued with the Olympics. What is the problem?
The opening ceremony?
The opening ceremonies. Have you followed or?
So there was this like.
I've
It
seen
was sort of a drag show depiction of the Feast of Dionysus
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And
it was misrepresented. Is that?
yeah, so well no, not really. A bunch of people mistook it for
They got
the
it.
Last Supper.
They represented it right, but someone misinterpreted
Yeah.
it as, yeah.
And it wasn't good enough to just say that's not the Last Supper.
No, like, oh my god.
Was it the art director wrote like a letter was that real, do you think?
I don't
like
know.
it was like, dear gentle viewer, or it was like really like slow and like
Yeah, and like I don't know if that was real, but
Is the problem that we're artists and we need to be exterminated? Is that the problem? Perhaps all this time we just thought people were being closed-minded, but what if we're the problem? What if being creative is evil and we've convinced ourselves it's this noble person? No, listen, I am open-minded enough to consider that I might be the problem, right? So what if it is the artist's problem, and these people that have never studied art history and don't like art know better than us that we should just be lining up and doing as we're told? What if that's
But the Olympics were Greek, and so was
so was D&D.
well? This is the only thing that I really followed, and I've been saying this to Jess, is Bacchus would have been thrilled with the chaos. That's
like Dionysus would have been like laughing hilariously at
Right,
the
and it's-
wrong
and
show.
then, yeah, and then there was like Gojira played, and there was like a depiction of Marie Antoinette
Yeah.
holding her head,
Yeah,
and the head was singing. Cool.
which is
But
awesome.
Some people didn't realize that was Marie Antoinette, and they're like, "Oh, there's a headless woman."
I would have
and
thought-
satanic music.
Yeah.
I kind of freaked
Here's
out.
some non-satanic.
I've kind of come to the conclusion that there's three things wrong. First, there's a lot of stupid people.
Three things wrong.
Common sense.
But maybe we're
died.
not looking at this right,
You know,
because this is why I like
nobody
stupid
has a
people.
sense of humor.
Well, maybe we're the
anymore.
stupid ones then.
No, but
Maybe we are.
first
Maybe
of all,
we're
I always stop and ask. Maybe I'm the problem, and you wouldn't be surprised
No.
how often I find out I am the problem. But the other thing is, and I don't understand why people don't get this. I consider myself bright because of the stupid people, right? Like, if everybody was as bright as me, I'd be average, right? So I'm grateful for the stupid people, because otherwise that's my edge, right?
By contrast. Welcome to the Rumble House, folks watching at home. If you are still following us, we are going to have an auction.
Guaranteed. There's somebody out there waiting to see me fall off this chair.
So what we have to learn from this is
Hey,
Um,
but we do have some fresh T-shirts, and we do apologize, but we're returning your T-shirts.
Yeah.
It was a weird night to do it though, because we have fresh T-shirts. But what I've realized about T-shirts is it's a combination of things that have to happen.
size.
It has to be the right print. Same shoes, right? Like, in the last 5 years, you would not believe how many people ask me whether I should be painting shoes for, these kids that collect sneakers. And the thing is, you need the right size shoe. You need the right kind shoe. You need the right art piece. Like, there's so many factors that when I put a piece of my artwork on a T-shirt, you might like this T-shirt, but this one's size large. It says large, but this is large from a place where large means gigantic. So this is a gigantic blue shirt. It says Rumble House. What does it say? Live art. See you.
Take care. Yeah, good
And it also says on the back, this is special. Rumble House last summer. That's why I had such a hard time.
Not Last Supper.
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, do you think we should actually that'd be pretty fun for our last
Thumb our
Chris-
nose, our finger at the.
the last Christmas dinner, just
Okay, extra large. Oh, that's not a bad
That would
idea.
be awesome.
This is an extra large. The Isle of Rue. This is our next project. If you don't know about it now, you weren't really listening. Extra large in a very soft blue. It's a lovely.
very soft.
Yeah, I touched my face with
I
it.
like that.
That's why I put the price down. This is a. I thought this was the one Georgia would take. This is a medium Isle of Rue,
That's it.
navy blue.
See, and like you said, it's not only like the size and the image, but it's also like the color combos.
Yeah.
And like
So this blue and orange and red of this print is my absolute favorite. I don't know why you don't have this. I thought I was going to give it to you. But of all of the Isle of Rue prints, this is by far my favorite print. The orange. See, because I don't use. You might be able to tell when I try and register them, they're boring as hell. But when I go off registration, I just love how they look. And so this Isle of Rue, and this will be very soft once it goes through the wash. It's a little crispy right now. But this is my favorite print of the Isle of Rue. And it's a medium. Do we still have people? Yeah, we do. Okay. Let me know if I'm annoying.
Oh, Georgia, there is a medium sweatshirt.
Have you seen this
Well,
sweatshirt?
I've got
Oh,
a
she said
medium
green.
Sweatshirt,
Oh.
a green one.
This is you might not see it. It might look white on screen, but it's actually a light periwinkle size medium soft sweatshirt. It makes me wish I was medium sized that I could fit it. Kind of reminds me of the trip to the Grand Canyon I can't take because I'm 10 pounds too heavy. This is a double extra large.
We can go to the Grand Canyon. I will clarify. We can't go on the donkeys.
The donkey ride. I have to drop 10 pounds. 20, probably 20 if you include my gear.
What is the weight limit for the donkey? Like,
200.
200 pounds.
Yeah, but with gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like actually pretty.
I could get down, but I don't want to be like standing on the scale after we've flown to Colorado. Is it Colorado?
Yeah.
And like having them like get rejected in line because then I would literally go ape shit. Like that's when you would see the worst utterance here. Like, especially if I hadn't been eating because I wanted to drop some weight. When I wrestled, my record was 11 pounds in 2 days. Jess wants this shirt, but you can buy it from her. What?
What are your plans with the t-shirts?
If anybody
If
sees a
people are
size they like,
interested, can they just text 403-629-7424?
I'm showing sizes and colors, and we'll show them again later on in the night. But for now, we're just hoping somebody. This one is my favorite one. This is like, hey, Mikey, let's sneak out and go over the bridge. No, Tommy, that's dangerous. And then they jump on the 3 speeds, and they go little haircut, the hair spiked over from the. You know what I'm saying? Like, doesn't this look like me on my 3-speed Mustang getting into shit in the 60s? Like, but it says the Isle of Rue.
That's a cute one.
Yeah. Did I forget to turn the bus around?
No, I was just making
There's
sure.
just no bids. This one, same thing, but a little more sedate. These are 2 junior extra larges. Oh, the Isle of Rue on a blue fuzzy sweatshirt. This is a large, so it'd be like boyfriend sweater style on Jesse, or the other one will be not quite.
They're quite.
snug
Those are a
fit.
nice size. Those ones.
But know that Jesse wants one of those, and she'll gouge your eyes out if you buy the wrong one.
I won't.
The
I really like that one with the that.
I'll
long
probably keep this one. The Rumble House Live Art Crab of July, last July Rumble, Rumble House last summer, and this is the last. I saved this all of July, and then last week I'd said I'd waited till the end of July to make the July shirt because before the July shirts we made in June to celebrate like our birthdays in July, me and the Rumble House, and this one I wanted to wait till the end because it was the last summer, but I didn't realize it's still July.
It is still.
Such a nice thing for teachers to say. How many more hours of July do we have? This is a very nice size shirt. It is it says extra large, but I would say this is a double extra large. And it is interesting how different stores give the different sizes. Is that a ding for one of the shirts? If it is, I'd be very happy. Is it a ding for it to show
Oh,
up?
here, the medium Isle of Rue shirt. How much are you starting at?
Who's asking?
Amanda,
Amanda, of course, we give it to you for free. Which color? Is it blue?
the solid, yeah, the dark. I think it's dark blue. She
Us,
said she
okay.
said black, but I think it was a really dark blue.
Dark blue?
Yeah.
The all-time best print?
The all-time best print. Yeah.
I think, okay. So we were getting, no, listen, where are you? You pick your shirt and you just decide what you want to pay for it. How's that? Is that fair?
It's funny that I'm typing, but
Yeah.
she just heard you say that.
Is she here?
No, I think they took off.
Was she here earlier?
Yeah.
Though, Amanda, I think you should get the 1960s ragamuffin shirt.
Ragamuffin? I like that. Okay, this.
I made that shirt for Felix. You might not find this surprising. There are certain fabrics he won't touch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And by that I mean everything.
My
So-
kid only wears t-shirts, and like trying to explain this to his teachers that
Yeah.
in the winter he
Yeah.
will not wear a sweatshirt or a long sleeve
No.
shirt. It's got-
Well,
And
here's-
only certain kind. He has the same of the one from Walmart. He buys we buy like 5 of the same ones because
Yeah,
I find one they
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Yeah. So actually, there's a young man in my school who's a lot like me, wired like me, maybe a little more impulsive than me, but otherwise he and I are wired the exact same. And Felix and he and I are all kind of definitely on the same branch of the same tree. And he burned his hand one time and just went into a fit. And it wasn't even that hot. He burned his hand on a screw that he heated up with a power drill, a power screwdriver. And he was kicking and screaming on the floor. And even the aides were kind of like rolling their eyes, like, what's this all about? And here's what I discovered that day. First of all, I bet you he feels pain differently than everybody else.
Yeah.
Second of all, here's a kid that would go outside in -30 in a t-shirt because his coat was prickly, right? It's not that he loved the cold. It's that his coat was more prickly than
When the
-30.
cold, yeah.
Thirdly, the one of the secretaries was putting the coffee cups, the little Nespresso things, in my mailbox because she was convinced that everybody forgot to remove their coffee cups was Rich Teru. So I'd go to make a coffee. Half the time I would forget to pull the cup out of the machine. I realized it was important to somebody because somebody was taking the cups that were left in the machine and putting them in my teacher's mailbox, which is a little passive aggressive, but and she's not there anymore. But I'd said what to myself. I said, clearly somebody really cares about this, so I need to make a change. And usually I go to make a change.
You're like, yeah, maybe I'm looking at this, right?
If that change doesn't stick, I know I know that I'm the problem, right? So I made a decision to not leave the cups in the machine anymore because it obviously bothered somebody a lot, enough to be a total
Yeah.
Thing.
yeah. And
It's the lady. She said, no, I'm just kidding.
and I still kept finding these cups in my mailbox, which told me, even though I decided to change my practice, I hadn't changed my practice, which made me think I must not want to take these cups out of the machine. So I sat down and I thought about it. I go, okay, I hate touching hot stuff. I bought Jessie 40 oven mitts because I hate watching her touch hot stuff. It doesn't make sense to me that you'd put hot coffee through the machine, open it, pull the hot cup out and throw it away when you could just let it cool off and throw it out. Like, it's much
Yeah.
easier to throw the cup out
Cool one.
after the last person used it
just
than to
gonna
throw it
put
out immediately after. That's the
Ferment.
one.
From
And so I learned through this young man, that I don't like to burn my fingers. And otherwise, can we agree I'm pretty tough?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like, I
Well,
can
that's what
take a
mean.
punch.
Like he can go out in -30. Where,
Yeah,
it's not about tough or whatever.
but
it's
burning
about
your fingers is
sensations.
unbearable.
Yeah.
And
Hi.
she actually, for a while, I wasn't sure if she liked me or not because she kept giving me food that was so hot it would make me want to
Because
cry.
I
Like,
love
why would you? Ah!
And now I know you put it there and you just let it sit.
Yeah.
For an ungodly amount of time. Just kidding.
Unless I go to your mom's house and she says, "Do you want to warm that
Warm it
up?" I'm
up?
like, "Never. I never want to warm it up."
Well, this is by Georgia.
Hell yeah.
It is Conte on toned paper. It is called Rust Bucket from a photo by Chasing Yesterday. Opening bid is $20.
Nice.
And
Let me
it's
see it.
matted nicely.
Nice.
So beautiful. So yeah, on the topic of the t-shirts, please let us know if you saw a size or a color you
Or
like.
if you know that there's t-shirts and you think you might like them.
Yeah.
Oh,
But this is-
darn it, I lost internet on my phone. Oh, that's you, not me. Okay.
But this is by Georgia, and text 403-629-7424 if you would like to bid on this
That's
lovely piece.
403-629-7424. 403-629-7424. This is what I painted tonight. It's weird. It is a picture of Tombstone before the fight of the OK Canal, inspired by what if it was a bunch of chimera animals living in Tombstone, which makes no sense. Feel free not to buy it
Also,
because
Rumble House is there.
all the buildings I paint have become Rumble House. And guess what?
What?
In December?
Yeah.
Islever.
I like that shift. So this is a pretty. Should we start showing some of the ones that were donated?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, no. Here, let's do Kohl's first, and then we have a few pieces that were dropped off today. So here, let's do this.
keep in mind, Rich is cleaning out his art collection, so we're going to show you a lot of stuff. And if you don't want it, we will not
Let's
be
do
offended.
the people that are here first. So this is by Cole, and this is your wrapped.
Yeah, that one's
Jewelry.
sterling silver Mardukite.
Beautiful.
Cole, what's your last name?
Bump.
Is that your real last name?
Hi,
Okay.
Georgia. We love you.
I just thought you really liked the mural project.
The Bump Festival. I've always been like, I should join that because my last name's Bump.
And if they like,
So we had a
take
teacher.
you, like,
We had a teacher at my school, that took care of the Brightspace, which is the teacher's software that you use to do all the work. Only it was called Brightspace, so I just thought like he named it after himself. Like, oh, go check out Brightspace. He's like,
Debbie bid $20 on yours.
which Debbie?
My
My
Debbie.
favorite Debbie?
My Debbie.
On which one? On this?
On Tombstone.
No, you're double my favorite. And I will eat the hottest food you can make me the next time I see you. You heat it up and I'll put it in my mouth. That's
Oh yeah, here.
That's
Here,
how
Ben.
Jesse's family shows love, is by making the food really hot.
Or like continually feeding.
My way of showing love will be eating the food while it's hot.
What is your opening bid for this one, Cole?
20.
Sorry, there's so many conversations. Yeah. And it's like there's no front because like all beautiful, you know, like no back. I
backwards.
mean,
Yeah, that's sick. So where does this one go?
Oh. Thank you. So this is opening 20 sterling silver.
I put 20 on that.
20?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. 20 to Ben. And this is also by Cole.
Yeah, that's actually.
I just got a
one from the
wash of
stickers.
happiness. This isn't about money,
Cool.
but when Ben bid on that piece for Cole, it was like 100% of the joy I needed right now. I got
That's
a
very
wash
nice.
of. You said that, and it rippled through the room and hit me and washed through me. It's got nothing to do with money, but just the appreciation
Yeah, that's nice.
made me so happy.
So this is by Cole as well, and you have the stickers that were based on this drawing that you've had.
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool. And what's your opening bid for this one?
I'll also do that one at 20.
20? 20 also opening. And then is this a silkscreen patch?
Yeah, well, it's a lino block.
Lino block.
And that one, it says Isha Rich.
Oh god, yes.
And that, I'll start that one at 5.
5.
I'll bid 5. It's got a double meaning for me.
Golden.
Yeah, that's like my character. He's kind of a golem. I draw him in like everything.
This is pretty sick, though. I put 10 on this one.
Oh, it's a 10 on it.
10. 10 to
I
Ben.
do this, I buy these, and then I don't sub. So I'm gonna find somewhere.
You know what? Would you ever go to Blues Fest?
I probably am.
Yeah, go to Blues Fest. We're going to be there all weekend. Jess will sew it on.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Honestly,
I love that.
We're going to be sitting there sewing.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm sitting there.
Cool.
Drop in.
Yeah, I would be very sold. Actually, this might fit my back pocket really well. That's a good place to put it.
Those are the other big
Is
feelings
it
I
gonna
had
make-
today.
if I put
Oh,
it on my butt,
oh.
is it gonna
What,
wear
what?
okay?
There was 2 bids that I
Yeah,
missed.
okay, 'cause I'd
Okay.
be just as happy like sticking right there.
What are they? What are they?
Someone bid 10 on the patch, but Ben bid 10 on the patch. So the patch is currently at 10. And Debbie bid 25 on the necklace.
Damn, Timmy.
Debbie!
Okay, 30, I guess, on the necklace.
Okay, I just have to start writing this down because things are actually happening.
He's actually having.
Oh, Tayana bid 15 on the patch. Cole.
Do I sell these as a 3?
Hold on. We need to go a bit slower for just.
So,
So you said 30
30 for the necklace.
on the necklace.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I painted a tiger last week, right? And you said it reminded you of
William Blake.
Blake, who I love.
All of those remind me of William Blake's work.
Yeah, who I love. And then I actually blast through a couple books a month, and on top of a couple books a month, I always listen to, whether I want to or not, I listen to a lot of audiobooks on top of reading. So personally, I prefer reading with my eyeballs. I'm an exceptionally good listener. I can put a book on 4 times speed, and I can blast through a huge volume in like hours or weeks instead of months. I'm a slow reader, but I love reading, and I'm crazy about So it so happened I had Paradise Lost waiting to be read, and and I haven't read Dante's Inferno, but based on our conversation, I just started speculating what I thought might be in Dante's, and I nailed it pretty close,
Oh
right?
yeah, I heard that conversation.
Yeah.
Wild.
I got the. Did you say a panther?
Leopard?
Can we call it a panther?
Panther, sure.
Okay, so there's the
Maybe
panther,
put 35 on the necklace.
and then there was they called it a bitch, the wolf bitch or something.
20 on the patch.
She wolf.
Oh, I did that in my head. That's embarrassing.
20 on the patch.
Oh, you know where the bitch is coming from? It's from the Mabernagnog or Mabernagnog. You know the word? It's Welsh folklore. And he says the Mabganian.
Yeah.
And it says, "You with the eyes of a doe and the heart of a bitch." And it's like he meant dog,
So good.
but it's so cutting. And there's I have the same problem with Paradise Lost as I had with Moby Dick. I can read for 10 minutes, and then I want to go back to the beginning and read it again. And I read Moby Dick, the first chapter, 1,000 times over 10 years. I started Moby Dick every day for 6 months before I realized I kept going back to the beginning because I liked the part where he took people's hats off in the street. And I'm the same way. We're doing Paradise Lost both in print and at the same time as Audible. And like the guy reading it, he's got this like wicked, vicious British accent. And it goes like 10 minutes. I'm like, and it started over. And I'm like, and she's so patient with me. But it's so musical.
Also,
to
it's
me.
really good because I'm not an audio person.
Yeah.
So I miss a lot because I go off into dreamland. And so when you redo
No,
it,
it's
okay,
it's like I'm jonesing for it. It's like an addiction. It's like I just need to hear that one part again. And if we get too far in the future,
you miss it.
okay. So we haven't started Dante's Inferno, and I don't actually know what it's about.
We started the first. We're on the.
Other than I'm a pretty good listener, so I've got the we'll call her the wolf,
The she wolf.
the she wolf, the panther. This is supposed to be something else, but it came out as a kind of a bull. And but these are those three creatures.
It's supposed to be like a lion, but it's fine.
And then this could be Dante climbing out of hell. It could be Dante falling into hell. It could be Dante doing the bicycle exercise, or it could be Dante running like hell.
Break dancing, yeah.
But this is Dante in my mind, and
And actually,
he's dropping.
he's dropping. There you go.
So here's what I thought is I'm either gonna, this is a weird the opposite of a sale. You can have all four for $100.
Yeah.
Or any one of them for 35. So if you want to buy one, you buy it for 35.
If you want to buy the
Or you
whole
can have
set.
all four for $100.
Yeah.
Which is that's backwards for a sale, isn't it?
I kind of like this because they're all the same size, but the frames, like that's a cool.
We've been
set.
thrift store hunting frames, and it's extra fun on my motorcycle because you find like this great stuff, but you win on the motorcycle. And so that's actually there's nothing we want. Like there's like when you're like what do they call that? Retail therapy.
Your dopamine, like to getting it.
There's nothing in the world that I want. I'll buy records and film at the beginning of every month, and I'm like set for a while. And then it's like, oh, well, I don't drink anymore. What am I going to do with my time? And like I got 5 minutes, so I whip out to the thrift store, and if I can find a frame, it's awesome. Okay, so the Infernal pieces, preferably I'd sell as a group.
Yeah.
And then
Here, can we show some of Theo's, and then we'll show your Goobies?
how about I'm on a roll? I'll show
Oh,
these
sure.
staying on-
No, that's
staying away
okay.
for a long time.
No, I don't want to.
And then we're playing this
Stay out of
game
the
with
way.
like monsters. So there was Mothman,
4 or 5.
the Banshee, and Chupacabra. So I'd love to see these go as a set too.
Do you have opening?
Just as long as I cover I think the frames worked out to about $15. So.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry for too much.
No, it wasn't at all. I would.
Whose are these?
There's like not like all we have is time.
You don't have to
Rich
worry about my
Taru.
ego. I'm doing fine.
These are by.
Let me just see that.
These are by Theo.
So beautiful.
That one is circa 1995.
This is wow. That's when Robin was born. Theo's been bringing us his whole life. He kept his whole life stored chronologically.
Oh, cute.
What's happening?
Tiana requested a baby onesie because her baby comes at the end of
Done.
Rumble.
Yeah, that's done.
Baby Rumble.
Does she want
Oh!
oh, we should just show her all the Rumble prints and she can pick what we have left. Or does she want Isle of Rue? What's the opening bid
We'll
for
talk
this?
to her. That is
What's
so
opening
cute.
bid? Oh, this is 96.
He said all $5. Bucks.
$5?
$5
Okay.
bulbs.
$5. Okay, this has a buyer for $20.
Yeah.
$20 going once, $20 going twice, $20 going 3 times. Sold. Unless you get back to us in 10 minutes, I'm going to push this off to the side.
These are all by Theo. $5 opening. So very lovely sky. I love this one. Oh my gosh, look at that sun. That's like the sun. Lately.
Little darling, it's coming. It's going to be all right.
Also, look at this cute
They're
voluptuous.
almost like CD cover size. It's like perfect. You just slide those into your CDs.
Oh.
It's just, to me, it's so mind-boggling. And I have to apologize that for the first 4 or 5 years, we did not get the gravity of Theo's dedication. He's kept these works his whole life, longer than I've been alive, which is a long time. He's got all these pieces. He exhibited everything he's ever done here. He's been selling the pieces and donating the money to the gallery. So but it's something that he cherished and held on to until he was ready. And then he sold all his work through us. So one week we'd see Theo in Burnaby in the 70s, and the next week we'd see Theo in Calgary in the 90s, and then you get one that was almost Jessica's birth date. And like, wow, that's crazy. You get one that's almost my birthday. It's like, that's way even crazier.
So Theo, 5 for Mom.
This one was donated back. There's a couple pieces that were donated back. In some cases, we are going to give the artwork back to the artists. In some cases, we're reselling. This was by Brittany in April 2016. It was purchased during, I think this was purchased during the COVID. So she painted it in 2016. She dropped it off and we sold it in 2016. I'm going to tell this story. Jeff's wife passed, was one of Jess's best friends. Yeah. And we lose somebody every 3 months here, sometimes every 4 months. There's also Alux's work. We lost Alux.
And Robin's.
We've lost Robin's work. We've lost 50 people since we've opened the gallery. It's almost like clockwork every 3 or 4 months. The first person we lost was a 7-year-old. And it was right before a show. And we were putting up the show and everybody was bickering. And Harold walked in and he told us we lost Ryan. I was like, who's Ryan? The only Ryan I know is 7. And we'd lost Ryan and it was a huge news story. And there was a lot of trauma. A lot of things happened. And we sat down, we had a meeting. We said, look, we're all tired. We wanted to quit. If there was ever a good reason to quit, now's the time. If we go through with tonight, we go through every night. If we quit tonight, we quit every time something bad happens. And we just decided to knuckle down, suck it up, put on the opening, cried, stayed and drank our faces off and cried right afterwards. But we've lost, and it's changed how I live, right? By last summer, we lost 5 people last summer. 6, including my grandmother, but we don't count her because she didn't come to the gallery. Not that came out wrong. When I say
We only count people that know.
yeah, if you don't come to the gallery, no. But because the story is about the people we lose through the gallery.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm growing dead inside so much as I have a very different experience with life. Mm-hmm. The 10 years I've lived since I met you and opened the gallery is plenty.
A lot of life.
That's all I needed. And if anything that happens after is gravy. But if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, I've done a lot more than I wanted to do.
I just wanted to show, because actually this one there's a bidding war on this one.
How much is that?
It's currently at,
Wait, don't I have the bid for this?
no. Debbie bid, and then Gladys bid, and then Debbie bid, and then Gladys bid. Gladys bid 20. Store for 20. Debbie just bid 25. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off because you're actually here.
I love it when you cut me off. I don't know how you do it. I've tried it myself. That night, somebody said, "Can you shut him up?" She said this to my mother and my mother-in-law. "You can't shut him up. I've tried." And I was both kind of insulted and absolutely flattered at the same time. Like I felt she really knows me.
But you also told that story for a reason. We have these pieces.
We have a number of pieces from
So,
people we've lost.
What would you like to do for the opening?
Opening
'cause
bid,
Jeff-
well, and this is donated to the gallery, and we are
From
desperate right now. So opening
Trish's
bid for this is
husband,
$25.
So Trisha's
Donated to the gallery. It was Jeff's intention to try and bring some good flow to the gallery.
Yeah. $25.
I also think to some extent there's a catharsis for him for removing some of these art pieces because he and his wife both bought pieces, and I think we got back some of the pieces that his wife had bought because they're maybe a little painful to look at. There's this piece.
I'm sorry. So this is This is at 30 to Gladys now. This is also very beautiful, opening at 5. This is also opening at 5.
I'll buy that.
The tree?
The look at this Calvin and Hobbes tree.
I love the tree. Yeah.
It's like Calvin and Hobbes got attacked by Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, and this is also 5.
$5 to me.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
put it over there.
Okay.
There's this piece. A lot of people don't know this. My dad helped design the Calgary Tower. He was a draftsman on the project. And so this is, I really love also the extent in which she painted around the edges. Because there's a really intense flatness to this work that is so good, it would make you question whether it's a real art piece. It's so good that it ends up looking almost like a poster. But this is just dusty when she's being clean. This is clean dusty. The original price, is this Dusty's?
Yeah.
She was valuing at $320 in 2019, and Trish bought it over COVID, and Trish's husband donated it back to us. And you have an opportunity to buy this piece. I think we'd open the bid at $80, and Dusty would have priced it at $320. And
For like show, like that was from a show.
yeah, shows and auctions are different, but that
Okay.
piece.
Just.
Yeah,
Could I actually try to electric this one?
of course you can.
This piece also donated back to us from Jess. It was purchased for $135 by Trisha in January of 2021. It is very shiny, very beautiful. A
Very warm piece. Yeah.
collage of a motor vehicle made by Jessica Armasnoda
Over COVID too.
over COVID. These are some COVID pieces we got back. So opening bid for this, will we make it? It sold for $130. Will we make it $50 to start? If you'd like to bid on this piece, $50. We could even put up a show of Jeff's donated work.
Kelly bid 80 on the one by Dusty.
Dusty, $80.
Sorry.
Yes.
How much would you like your opening bid to be?
I'm gonna open that one at 100.
100? Beautiful. Yeah. Sorry, pause game. There's lots happening. This is by Cole, and were you working on this one tonight?
No, that one I made a couple of weeks ago. It's peach moonstone, sunstone, and garnet. Wrapped in Sterling silver.
Isn't that cool?
Ah! The sun, the moon, and my birthstone. Damn it. I just put $2,000 into red.
What's opening bid?
$100. It's so beautiful. This is by Cole Bump. So beautiful. Sterling silver wrapped.
It's funny.
That's
It's
magic.
perfect for her in so many ways.
Sun, the moon, and the.
And I would totally just balls out buy it for her. But we are so screwed right now that we can't. So
There's some basket wove around the. Oh, there's people.
is it your mom?
Yeah.
That's good. She'll probably give it to you.
Oh no, she's bidding on Theo's pieces.
Oh.
Hold on.
Just so I still have the patch.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Oh, this is by Cole. It's opening $100. Sorry, I'm getting very distracted.
This is by Robin. It was purchased by. Did she buy it?
Yes, you have the patch. Trish bought this.
Trish bought this
by
from Robin. We've lost both Trish and Robin. So Robin and Trish are in the yonder. And maybe that's actually what drew Trish to want to buy this piece, is that Robin was stage 4, right?
Yeah.
And was Trish undiagnosed at that point, but something in her spirit wanted to buy this piece. And Jeff gave us several pieces to resell with instructions to resell. And strangely, a number of the pieces. Where's the Alux piece? Oh, here.
Right there.
We also
Sorry.
lost Alux. So there was a big show at one of the other art spaces. I forget which.
Art spot.
I think it was at Art Spot, yeah. And this piece is donated back to the gallery. And it's quite lovely. And most of the pieces I bought off of Alox, I ended up gifting to people because he cheered people up so much. And we buy a lot of artwork, but we aren't really able to keep it. So a lot of this, we would have kept yours. But a lot of the stuff we buy, you know, Rich is like, oh, I got to buy that piece. And then I have it. And the next day, generally what would happen, this is like clockwork. Somebody walks into the gallery the next day, just on their last leg, and they're like, I need a reason to get by today. Oh my God, what's that? I'm like, that's yours. And so it has been so serendipitous that we've been able to give authentic, life-saving gifts to so many people with the pieces that Jess and I bought. This one is by Jessica Armasnoto. It was a piece purchased and created during the COVID online. The original price was $40 opening. And it would be nice to stick to that. And what city do you think this is in? Or is it it's a collage of a lot of
She
different
took her own photos.
Yeah.
I think it was from Cuba. So she took her own
Cuba.
photos when she was in Cuba, and then she made the photo transfers of her on her pieces. So this is her own photography in her pieces. Hold on, there are a few things I would like to do.
What are the things you'd like to do?
This, do the going once, twice thing.
What is it at?
20.
$20 going once, $20 going twice, $20 going 3 times. And you probably aren't going to get 10 minutes for this.
You're
Who's
right.
got it?
Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Okay, then this one is at 35 to Debbie.
$35 to Debbie. Going once, and twice, and 3 times. Sold.
Okay, so Gladys bid 30 on this one.
This is, I think, my second favorite of Theo's paintings.
It's really beautiful.
I wonder if he used an airbrush. I wonder what he used. Where's the other one?
Okay,
Well,
Mom.
I bought one, didn't
Well, no.
I? Where did it go?
Mom bid 15 on this one and 5 on this one.
Mm-hmm. Once, one twice, gone 3 times.
And
So if you wanted one of these, your almost time is up.
so
Oh,
Tana
Oh, that's funny.
had a couple questions here. She asked, "Well, how much was the mermaid?"
The opening bid would be $30. And this is the money from that bid is donated to the gallery to help us get through. We like to say normally help us get through the month, but
Get through till the end. So $30.
$30.
And
And it'd be nice and light to mail through the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk to Sean too. The and Tiana, the shipping to Ontario specifically, they just upped. So we have to deal with them somehow.
We can cover it.
We do get a no, yeah, I know, but it's
Can we
just
cover
like
it?
always, but it's just like it sucks when provincially we can't like
Yeah.
deal with things like
Did it
that.
go
It's
up while the stuff was in the mail? What's happening?
like, she'll slip this. I don't know how to like we paid that to because that's very kind, but I didn't know how to like that's almost too kind.
What's happening here?
That's for this. So I think she's saying that she'd pay the 50 to give
Who's
to
that?
Cole, Tiana.
Okay.
That's
That-
like too kind.
That's too kind. Thank you. But we cannot accept. Love you.
There's like yeah.
Did you want me to argue
I
with
no,
you,
I
or-
didn't fully understand, and I wanted
Yeah.
to make sure we did the right thing. When people ask us, like, okay, this is also by Theo at $5.
It's wild. This is a wild painting. It's got a dunk, but it's not in any way. It doesn't read. You know what it reminds me of? And I just ordered one of these. It was called a Roto Draw.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is what the Roto Draw drawings look like. Nobody knows what a Roto Draw is. It's this weird toy, and you put in a little plate, and you trace out the lines, and then you rotate it. Trace out the line, and you rotate. You've seen this? How? Your grandfather had one.
Oh yeah, my grandma.
Okay, so Zach
Tiana bid 30 on the mermaid. Thank you, Tiana.
Zach Abbott does paintings on walls sometimes. Sometimes he's paid for it, and sometimes he just sneaks out at night. But one of his tags is the clown. And I was like, oh, I know that clown. That's from the Rotodraw. My sister had a Rotodraw set, and I wasn't allowed to touch anything that was my sister's. So I've never actually used a Rotodraw. But I was trying to explain to him, I know this clown. This is from my childhood. This is like an image that was created by a toy when I was a kid that I wasn't allowed to touch. And so I wanted to show Zach, because he just saw it somewhere along the line, had taken this toy and this drawing that came out of the toy and put it up as a graffiti piece. And so he'd adopted that as part of his narrative. And I was like, oh, there's a beginning to that. I know where that comes from. And so then I tried to find on the internet a reference to the clown that came out of the Rotodraw toy. And it must be the least interesting plate that they had, because even though I saw it everywhere, I could not find a reference. Nobody took this toy from the 70s and put it on the internet in the 2000s. And so there's certain things you can't find on the internet, right? So what I could find was there was a
Gina bid $100 on the necklace. Thank you, Gina. Beautiful bid. Thank you. Thank you, Gina.
thank you, Jen.
Sorry.
And so I ordered off eBay a Rotodraw with a stack of plates, and I'm just hoping the clown's in there. Otherwise, I'm going to have a new obsession, because part of me believes I've seen this clown in this toy, but part of me wonders if I just fabricated the whole thing. So my new hobby is going to Value
Oh, it's a
Villages.
specific toy, the
And-
specific drawing you're
yeah.
thinking of. Too.
Yeah, there's one, like, I don't know if it's like those little Lego sets that you don't know if you're getting Kermit, right?
Right.
And I have the whole Muppet set that you had to gamble on, which is,
These are by Tiana.
isn't that nice?
So these are they're $15.
This reminds me of the story of O,
Oh, that's interesting.
which is a weird thing to put on somebody's painting. So, oh, I like this.
Yeah, so these are all by Tiana.
I like
Very
that.
different styles. $15 opening for each of them.
That's cool.
Oh, trying to get it on screen. There's a lot happening there.
I
That's some
know.
good stuff. Yeah.
telling myself, not you.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm doing great. It's fine. There's no ink came on. It's perfect. Perfect.
Zach said, Roto draw.
Zach, I ordered a RotoDraw so that I can share this clown with you. And I will be buying hundreds of plates. It's actually, so it started with nostalgia. I just wanted to say, here's where that came from. But then as I started looking for it, I realized I've never used one. There was one in my house. There's a number of things in my house. I was the youngest of two, but my sister had been around for a while before I was born. So she was old enough to know she didn't want a younger brother. And so there was a number of like awesome toys that like, if I had a sick day, I might like venture out to try and play with if it was left somewhere in the house, but I would not go in her room. And I've never tried a RotoDraw. I've just seen one and envied the opportunity.
Sonia asked a question. Everyone, I can't seem to hear. Is it on my end? People, are we hearing us okay?
Check, baby, check, baby, check. 1 and 2, check 1 and 2.
Oh. Marlo dropped this off today. It is a beautiful abstract mountainscape with
Oh, I
the
wonder
sun
where
and
that came
moon. $5 opening bid. I really love that. Trees,
$30 for the
mountains.
butterfly girl and the long graffiti piece as a pair.
Fun. Oh, and Sean, I will get back to you about your total from last week too.
I believe this is
Last-
the long graffiti piece. I think that's the case. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's one. Butterfly girl, butterfly. Oh, it is a butterfly. Way better than what I thought. I know why I thought that. But for sure, I thought that was a double penis eyeball thing.
Okay.
That was like a thing I could have kept to myself. 100%. I didn't need to share that. And it did absolutely sound way worse coming out of my mouth than it did inside my head.
Tana says yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. This is a piece I was quite proud of. I wanted to put in the auction. My wife bought it. It's this is a departure piece, actually. You might hate this piece. This might be the piece that dictated the end of Rumble House. And I'll tell you why. I was going through a number of big thoughts, big changes, big feelings. And I pulled out my gouache and my watercolors. And I mixed the two. And here's what I found is there are things you can get out of oil paints that you mimic in acrylics, but you never really reach. And it's funny because acrylic paints come from plastic and oil paints come from plants. But when I use oil paints, my heart soars and I sing and I feel joyous. I have this huge studio, and when we first got here, I spent a lot of time oil painting. What I realized was to keep the train rolling, I had to paint with acrylics, and I have been painting with acrylics for the last 7 years, just trying to keep the gallery open because there isn't time for me to make oil paints and store them and sell them.
Yeah.
I got something out of this painting through combining watercolors and gouache that I normally only get out of oil paints, and it's right here in the lips. Can I take a photo of that? Now, I know that other painters have like processes, and there's a point where it's like, oh, now I'm ready to put the glaze on. I don't need that. I don't need glaze. But what happened with those lips is what I like to do with oil paints when I'm painting. And what I realized was, and I don't know if that painting looks different than the other painting or the other painting, but when I was tinkering with this painting, I realized I could probably just sit at my table and paint with oil paints and watercolors and gouache for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And I made this shift that maybe, now there's a number of factors, but one of the things that was keeping me locked into this space was I need this space to make oil paintings. Now, the irony is because of this space, I can't make oil paintings. But this piece set me free because I might have even had a bit of a bias for oil paintings are the best. But right now, I am super intrigued in just being left alone for a bit and doing some watercolor wash paintings. And so this painting covers some space that I was fighting with. It was a painting of Marilyn Monroe. I didn't take it. I wasn't there. It's in a nice frame. Just bought it. I wasn't sure how much we'd have to show tonight, so I brought it in. I would open the bidding of that at $100, and I'd be happy to put it back on my wall. But I wanted to make an offering. Right, every time we come in here and we ask you to take a risk, sometimes you put your piece in, doesn't go for what you want it for. I like to take a piece of my own lung or heart and put it out on the table and say, if anybody's hungry, have a bite. And I know $100 seems like a lot on a night like tonight, but that's what that is. This was acrylic, and it was donated back from Jeff from Merlin. Jeff donated this back as part of the donations he made to us to try and help support the gallery. I believe it might be black white. It's also metallic. I don't know what he paid for that. I'll put the opening bid of that as maybe $20. And I like the way her face changes in the light.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't,
that one has the metallic. I don't know about that.
I can't remember what I was thinking when I painted that. It's a few years back. But thank you, Jeff, for donating that back. Whose bicycles?
Marlo brought that back, and I'm trying to remember.
This looks like something I would do,
Yeah.
but I didn't. Mirror bicycles.
Is Zach Abbott watching? I'm trying.
Zach
to
Abbott's
think
watching.
who. I'm trying to remember who did those.
Here is an incredibly saucy little collection of movement figure drawings
Oh yeah, so this is
and
really
nice
cool.
use of the negative
This
space.
is super fun. Okay, so
This is number one. If you're
because,
interested in number one,
because we are, do you want to do like rapid fire or do you want
Sure.
to do like
if you want one of these pieces,
how
the
much?
I don't know, would 5 be reasonable?
It's up to you.
Okay, so any one of these pieces, you can start the bidding at 5. Chances are you'll get it. There's number one, 4 ladies in sequence moving off of a chair. Opening bid $5.
Which
It's
one
tiny.
Did you say 30? Did you say that one was 30?
I don't know. Oh, I think I said 20 for that.
Here, let's see, because Tiana just bid 30 by Riches, so I was gonna ask her.
So we did figure drawing every Thursday for most of 12 years, and sometimes I would keep the pieces. Sometimes I would often give them away. This is number 2. This is actually hard for me to tell if I did it or you did. I think I did.
You did that,
okay.
yeah. I separated the minor at the back. Yours are
Number
so
2.
beautiful.
Better than I remember.
They're so beautiful.
Here's number 3. Figure drawing Thursday nights. We don't do that anymore.
Actually, yeah, Lee was just in here. He's like, "What's happening? I
This-
heard a shutting
This
down
one I
in
might keep
December."
this. If I don't get a bid on 2, I'm gonna keep it.
Uh,
Here's number 4.
So Tiana bid 30 on the girl that paint the acrylic painting.
Perfect. You know, I don't know if you can see these online, but it's the chin that's nice on this one.
Oh yeah, I really love that one. And then
Here's
there's
number 5. Is this Karen? I would say with this one, I really love the colors.
yeah,
Not even the figure drawing, but I
the
love
colors.
what happened with the colors. Number 5. Did I say $5? I can't remember.
Yeah.
$5 for any of these. Yeah. Where's number 6?
6.
Number 6. Huh. You can definitely see, though, even though we have a figure drawing model, I often paint it as though my wife was there. Number 6, $5. Number 7, $5. Karen, is this number 8?
8.
8. And then we might put these up as a show.
Yeah.
This was model was Raven. Am I correct? Yeah.
I think so. This one's really cool, very theatrical.
Oh yeah. So a lot of times with figure drawing, I would do all my poses on one sheet. So this is a whole night of figure drawing. Number 10. Even had time to paint. Am I boring you guys? I don't
Rich,
know.
I'm it hurts me on the back and it gave me the creepers. We have the door open for wind and I'm like, if it was just wind.
It's just downtown, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. Can I take a closer look at the theatrical one?
Yes. Because we used to have those lights shining across and Rich would do the multiple poses in one on one sheet.
Oh, that's cool.
Hope Rich is okay now. How do I send him off to a certain doom?
Do you want a buddy?
Huh?
Would you like a buddy?
I feel like he's fine. It's like it's if you want.
I don't even know how to
This
explain
one
it.
should be feel safe. That's all.
Oh no, he's fine.
Well, golden.
That awkward everybody.
I mean, you know, play too many video games.
Yeah, everything's fine. I actually just grabbed this on the way back in. I just had a huge heavy moment. Want to hear my huge heavy moment?
Yes. Did you want to look at any other ones?
I'm just like taking a peek.
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
show them.
Huge heavy moment.
Do you remember
Thank you,
Felix
Ben,
used
for
to hide
offering buddies and stuff.
this
Yeah.
one? This is number 12. And we are happy to hang a show with these. So number 13, I think this is definitely Jesse's. Oh, no,
No,
that's
I
mine.
thought that
Is
was
that mine? It
yours.
is mine.
Yeah.
You're right. Karen, number 14.
Yeah,
Karen's
there are a
always
few
so
of
super.
Karen.
I think Karen's I ended up putting dresses on. She was
She's
not wearing
so-
a dress, but
She's so sweet. Like
number 16. Number 17.
oh, sorry.
Number 18.
I love that one. Those ones were in the frames. This one and this one for so long, and I
Yeah.
just like, I really love those.
Number 19.
Just like classic pinup poses.
Yeah.
Number 20. It's strange having all of these. Number 21.
Janet, did you see it? I like that you're showing them and saying the number, and then people can.
Number 22. Ebony. Actually, I think I'll keep number 22. Oh, and number 23. Maybe number 24.
There's 6.
All of these pieces are pieces that I kept. So generally, if we did figure drawing, we pay the model quite well.
So here, wait. Janet was asking about these are all opening
24.
5. So here, pause game. This one, and this one. She said 16 and the blue one. So there you go. Those are
Let's
both.
see. Oh, that's a nice one. So I would always give the model the first pick
Oh, she paid 15 for each. Thank you,
out of
Janet.
anything I did. And then I would also tell the model which I thought
Oh,
I might want
the
to keep.
numbers really does work. This gives me the throwback to
This
the.
is number 26.
the
This was pretty daring. I did a whole night on one sheet.
Sonia bid $10 on number 19.
19.
Thank you, Sonia.
This is number 27. A little more Art Nouveau.
I love that was the one that killed me. I was looking through them and I was like, oh, like
I like when she's impressed. I'm a little impressed, actually. I haven't looked at these at all. Number 28. Okay, so going through these figure drawings, is this also, yeah, also some huge, big feelings. But number 29. I just went out in the back, and I remember when like Felix is growing up in this space. We took it over when he was a baby. There's a daycare next door, and there's a playground in the back. And to my horror, I was like, oh, there's no way the people next door will let us use this playground. How will I keep this playground hidden from my child that our backyard's a playground and he's not allowed to touch it? And they were so sweet. And this is number 30. I skipped a few, I guess. Or maybe I stopped talking.
No, it's perfect.
But he used to spend hours hiding under the that
the
fence. And
climber.
I just walked by the climber and I thought, oh, Felix won't be able to go in there
wave
anymore.
of feelings, see?
Wave of big feelings, 31.
This one's
Oh.
so sweet too, like a sleeping giantess. Like,
Yeah, these are the Jessie ones. Now you can see,
oh yeah, I didn't.
I have better
this is how much
anatomy.
I undervalue myself. I didn't even. I stopped
But
putting
Jessie's
numbers up.
work absolutely carries the energy of the female universe into the way her water paints
30.
goosh together.
I don't know, 33.
She doesn't know she's better than me, so don't tell her. But Jessie has a different connection to the watercolors that, in me, I like to make the watercolors do what I want them to do. Jessie lets the watercolors paint themselves. And they're better paintings than mine.
Oh,
This doesn't have a number. You'll
I
have
know,
to
sorry.
describe it.
hold on. I could. Sorry, go slow.
And show them to us as well.
Oh, come on, look.
Here. Oh, they're falling off.
It's out of modesty that we're not showing them to you
33.
because it's literally we're kind of.
All of them?
And then is this me or you?
That's me.
So that looks like
That's
me.
my line. Yeah.
So clearly we spent a lot of time together.
Oh wait.
You can tell this is Jesse's because not finished.
Oh,
What? What do we got?
Janet. Oh yeah. She asked
What's Jenna got?
$15 on the one like yours. Because look, she bid on this one.
Oh yeah, those are perfect.
That's a really nice.
Yeah, that's a nice combination. Where's Janet? Is Janet the one buying? Is anybody else buying?
Perfect. And Sonia bid this one.
Okay, can I tell you
And
guys?
someone just said, figure drawing? Are you kidding me? How much? And then I said, $5, but I don't know if
That
they
was
just.
really cool.
This was really cool, right?
Oh, I love that.
So this is something I realized when I was 17. I decided to make a comic book over Christmas break. It was called Chuck the Superhero. And I had it in my mind I wanted to be a comic book artist. I didn't really read. I just started reading comic books. And I didn't know much about the art form of comic book art. But I decided I wanted to be a comic book artist. I don't know, better than going to jail. And I made a page of Chuck the Superhero. And then I just did 32 pages. I made a whole book. Little did I know most comic books were 32 pages long, but they mostly had advertising, might be like 15 pages of story. I wrote a 32-page black and white comic book called Chuck the Superhero. And what I realized was I was pretty good at drawing at 17. I could pull off a character. I recognized the challenge before I started in having that character always look like the same character. Like if Peter Parker starts to look like Harry, right? You have a problem. So you have to be able to draw distinct different characters. But the thing that struck me was it's not hard to bang a drawing out on a page. But when you have two figures on the page, it gets exponentially harder. So it's twice as hard to get two characters on the page. It's 4 times as hard to get 3 characters on the page. It's 8 times as hard to get 4 pages. So it gets up exponentially. But this is, I'm impressed with this, and I did it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 figures that I'm quite proud of. There might be 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a funny pose. This pose, all I did was her feet. But-
I love it. They're just like images. After images.
Like the tires were lit up and the frame of the boat.
Oh, those are
Neon
nurses.
green.
There's 2 nurses that go around. They've been doing it since COVID.
Yeah?
And they're loaded up with the lights and they ride around blasting music.
Oh,
We have nicknames for everybody on the block. So
I
What?
just saw the one, but
yeah, like the Neon Nurses is one. They actually, I think they have a webpage called like the something Neon Lit Nurses or something like that. There's also this other family. Turns out they don't think we're funny, but their whole family had Foldy bikes, And we called them the
So they're
foldies. So
obviously
and we'd
the
see them like
foldies.
because we ride so much, we'd see them like 3 or 4 times a day. It's like, hey, it's the foldies. And then I would say that after they passed under my breath, but Felix and I gave nicknames. There's also like Mr. Chuckles, like we'd pass Mr. Oh, there's Mr. Chuckles, keep low, because you get to recognize people on the same bike paths. But one day the foldies were right outside the gallery, like locking their box out. We're like, hey, foldies. And they're like, what? I'm like, never mind. Kind of like when Good Looking Daniel realized his nickname was Good Looking Daniel. He's like, I'll take it. Okay, so did these all get worked out?
Yeah, and Lena's just rewatching the segment where you were giving the numbers.
Oh.
She's
Very nice. Well, Lena can just come in and
yeah, Lena, you can come.
barrel through them.
Yeah.
Did we get a bid on Robin's flower?
Yeah.
Did we get a bid on this? It's not really a narrative so much as we were watching Bawani Junction, and I painted kind of like I was kind of half watching when I painted this, but it was kind of like Ava Gardner.
Yeah.
And then the general that was her source of indignation, and I just liked how it looked in the frame. I don't really know this is an art piece so much as a doodle, but I really loved how it landed in this frame. So there's that.
What's the bid?
What?
The bid on it?
You can have it.
It's framed. It's also
$5. $5.
Jesus Christ.
Really, I just like going to Value Village and buying these frames. So,
yeah, it's a cute frame.
and I mean, for $5, honestly, you could chuck the drawing out and take a look at it close. Pretend it's your grandparents. Do you get along with your grandparents?
They're all
Pretend it's the grandparents that aren't dead.
Here, 3 and 4
3 and 4.
and 5.
But did you get along with your grandparents?
yeah.
I invent things, like in my head, Steve McQueen's my grandpa.
This is very pretty. Oh shit! Number 1's on the ground.
Ah,
Is this number 3? Who wanted number 3?
Lena said 3, 4, 5.
Can I tell you what's nice about this is the
She
way
picked-
the
yeah.
yellow and the red bled, but then I cut it with the blue.
Look, and she chose these ones. That are on
Woo!
the
The
same
one with the
paper.
nice chin. Good call. And then this one, I really love the blue and the red and the primaries and the knees. And sometimes I'm being so saucy, I'm gonna put the primary colors near her legs. Oh. It's like a secret message that you should pay attention to the legs. Is that weird?
Scandalous.
Yeah, like some of my
Ben-
best scandalous stuff is like stuff that's not
Ben
that
bid
scandalous.
$10.
Yeah.
$10 on this one to Ben, and Lena bid on these 3. So 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, these are the ones I want to
Lena.
keep. These 3.
Okay.
The rest we'll put up in the show. Yep.
And Sonia's
Okay.
very pumped on that idea.
What's that? A show?
Yeah.
Nice. Did this one get a bid? Number 28. The blue hair.
Oh, I like that. It was $5 on that.
Did you bid 5?
I did. I have
Oh.
that.
You have one?
Janet was asking about this one, and she asked, "Is this one up tonight?"
It is. Did she hear my whole story about how it was a transition piece where
It
I
is a
decided?
transition piece.
Yeah. I decided I could satiate myself with watercolors and gouache for some time. Also, I will be painting with oil paints after the Rumble House.
Oh, she said she missed that.
She missed the story?
Yeah.
So this is a piece that I did, and it opened up some possibilities for me because what I feel like I can get out of the anatomy is like if I tip it, you're getting a parallax error, meaning that her face is distorted. But if I don't tip it, the glass, this is a really nice frame, by the way, BTW. And the opening bid for this one, because it's a little special, was $100.
Yeah.
It's still
So-
100.
It's
Did it get a bid?
Oh, I put 100 on it.
you did?
No, I will.
Oh, you will.
No,
Okay.
I didn't realize it was still at 100. Yeah,
Oh
let's go.
yeah. Okay, I will let. And Janet, it is at $100. So it's Marilyn Monroe, and also important piece with the materials.
It's a liberating piece that emancipated me from being stuck on oils. It's so funny. Like, it's so hard to erase your biases, and especially the ones you picked up in school. And we're doing these weird vignettes with a mannequin where I talk my feelings out to a mannequin, and they're scripted because you have to follow what's happening without me speaking for the mannequin. Meaning, like, if she was the mannequin, I'm like, "Oh, Jesse, you love my shirt." You know, like me speaking for the mannequin.
Yeah,
is
you're not.
easy.
Yeah.
Responding to the mannequin in a way, she's not the mannequin, but responding to the mannequin in a way that implies what the mannequin might be saying does a lot of different things. One, it's pushing you really hard as a dialogue writer.
Yeah.
Two, it's interesting that people watching the same segment will get different experiences based on their own biases, and I think that's really interesting. But also, three, I get to have these really deep conversations, and I was having a deep conversation. We call him Dead Kevin. We have to get out of the habit of calling him Dead Kevin, but Kevin the mannequin, we might like call him Funky Kevin or something, because
It's like, hey, Kev.
well, Funky Kevin might imply that he's been dead for a while, but
What did you say? You said something.
Loki?
Fresh Kevin.
Fresh Kevin, yeah.
Also denotes death now.
Fresh Kevin, yeah. No, he's Dead Kevin. There's nothing. Doesn't matter whether you say it or not. That's what we're thinking. But I spend time talking to Dead Kevin, and we've been making the stupid vignettes. Have you seen any of them? Like, I apologize if you have, but there's 3 episodes of Taylor's in Space, and that's Jess, Rich, and Felix flying around in a spaceship. It's so weird. There's the segments where I'm speaking to Dead Kevin, and then there's other segments where the puppet version of Rich Taylor is giving art lessons. And we've just started sharing those little pieces on the Instagram and the TikTok. And then when we do the live broadcast, they'll be integrated in, and then they'll go up to the YouTube channel. I think they're super funny, but obviously I'm not the best judge of character on the topic. Felix thinks they're hilarious. They're hilarious, and that's all I really need. Jeff laughs at everything, so we're a pretty tight unit. But I've been really exploring a lot of myself by talking to this mannequin, and it's interesting. Trying to write content for Dead Kevin, who doesn't speak. How much more stuff do we have to do?
Sonia was saying that she has the one, it's like, she said it's almost like a sister piece to the Marilyn Monroe. She has the one where I'm posed like that. And
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
Well, did she want to bid $110? Or is she just enjoying it? There's so much, Sonia, that you're not going to see online because of the lighting in this camera. But there's some magical modeling in my mind. I don't know if people look at the same things as me, but when I rarely look at my work and think, wow, how did that guy do that? And I remember doing it. I remember being impressed with my hands, but it just comes out sometimes.
Okay.
And like we were talking earlier, was I talking to you about that I don't see pictures in my head?
Yeah.
I mean, I do and I don't. I don't know if I can put it to words, but I believe there are people out there that see really, really clear images. I see like snow in my head all the time. So there's actually an episode of it's called Every Episode of Friends All at Once. It's just a YouTube thing where somebody overlapped all of the episodes of Friends all at once.
Oh, jeez.
And it's just this pink snow, but every now and then it sort of materializes into Matt LeBlanc's face. And then because it's the opening credits, there's like layers of like at minute or at 15 seconds. Even though there's all this chaos, most of the shows kind of line up on the credits. So you see little glimpses of things. And I was like, oh, wow, somebody found a way to make like an image of how it looks in our heads. And they're just like, what? I was like, look, and they're like, what? And like, that's what we all see in our heads. And I was like, an adult when I realized I was the only one that sees like 15 TV channels in my head at once. But
You know what else is like 15 TV channels at once?
listening to me talk.
No, the text messages that come
Oh,
in.
yeah?
It's
That's
very-
good. That's a good thing.
It's super
People are alive.
cute.
They're taking part.
So like Brandy,
Randy.
is on here separate from Janet and Sonia. And then so Randy comes on, and then he's like,
Can you show the figure drawing
He's
pieces
like,
again?
no.
There's like 100 of them.
It's like, time to bid against Janet and Sonia. And then I'm like, ha ha ha. And then he said, I encourage Sonia to bid on the Monroe painting. And then Sonia said, I do $110. And it's like weird because it's like all looped together, all the conversation. Sonia bid $110 on the Marilyn Monroe painting.
I'd do 125.
125 to Ben. I should write this down. Sonia, 125 Ben. So Marilyn Monroe is currently at 125 to Ben.
It's funny because do you want to know something?
I'd love this.
If we weren't kind of like scrambling to make some dough, if it was just up to me, I have pieces I've priced out at like I sold 7 pieces off the back wall once, and I told everybody they were $2,500, and I had 7 pieces. I was willing to sell 5, and I wasn't selling them to anybody unless they were willing to pay $2,500 for them. And the truth is, I was selling them for $500, but I wanted to know they were willing to pay $2,500. And there's a long story about why. I was going to go over the border with them, and I wanted to keep a couple.
Always comes down to
Well, no, but I knew that if I established the price of this series at $2,500 a piece, if I went over the border with any of them, I'd be carrying some heavy cargo, and I wanted to keep the value of them lower so that I could travel into the States, because I had every intention of taking these specific pieces back to Venice Beach for somebody that really mattered to me. So when I sold them for $500, because like when it got down to it, I was like, look, these weren't really hard to make. I know they look good.
Sonia bid 140.
Oh.
But this piece here, if it was just up to me, I'd price it at $750. Like sometimes people ask you like, oh, I don't know how to price my work. I know instantly what all my work is worth. And I would price this piece at $750 if I was a regular guy that sold art. And you know what? That's just for me, because the qualities I like in this piece might not matter. Look at the yellows in the knee, or how this finger comes out farther, and how this lip becomes almost more like clay than paper. And those are the things that matter to me. They don't have to matter to anybody else, and you can't force people to give you what you think your work is worth. But that particular piece, I think, is one of my better works.
I gotta take off.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you
support.
so much.
See you soon.
See you.
Can I put
Probably be back.
150? Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Take care. Hey, thank you, Ben.
And yet you might make $650 profit off of me when I get back on my feet.
He wants it back.
It's currently at 150 to Ben.
It's a good investment.
Oh, it's low.
It's really easy to work with Marilyn Monroe while she's reading and writing.
Yeah, it's also an unusual depiction of her.
Right.
There's so many depictions of her reading and writing because she was a poet.
I didn't know that.
She was an avid reader.
Only seemed like that.
She had a genius level IQ. She was brilliant. She played the nitwit. And it's very difficult for me to watch her in a Marilyn Monroe film because I think of her as this brilliant lady. And when she, like, there's a couple films where you can see her brilliance
Sonia bid 160.
dictating the nitwit. You know what I mean? I think the Misfits. You can really see how brilliant she is, despite her silliness. Am I saying that right?
Like, yeah, I think she was definitely pigeonholed in the
Right.
dingy
Yeah, ding.
role. And
And that's a defense mechanism as well as like
we have a record of her singing too, and she's an incredibly talented
Yeah.
singer.
all the songs are about diamonds and getting money for being a gold digger, but she's super but when you look at candid photos of her, she was reading. She had a passion for reading and writing, and that's when that's the Marilyn Monroe I like, which is funny because I'm not at all interested in the bombshell, and but she reminds me quite a bit of you. Is that fair to say? Also, we had a code word because sometimes when we're in the grocery store, she feels like she's being judged by the housewives. She puts on this extra dingy voice, and I'm just like, people are going to think I'm taking advantage of you if you talk like that.
Christ.
So we came up with a code word, and I just throw Margaret Atwood into the sentence, and she knows that it's time to start.
Dropping my voice a little. That's good.
That's very
Okay, I think
And a lot of men would love that if you were to play Digny for their egos.
is right.
But I'm like, no,
No.
we don't baby talk.
funny.
Speaking of Margaret Atwood, have you guys ever read Oryx and
Love
Crane?
it.
Yes.
Love it.
Oh my God.
It's there's a handful of books that have changed my mind, like changed how I see things. And the way she describes reading to people that don't read. In like the third book, like wouldn't that be amazing if you could just drop an idea down and someone could pick it up?
Mhm.
It's when you read it, it just seems cute, right? But then it starts to integrate into your life, and you see the magnitude of how important reading and art. And that one was a huge reinforcement. And then at the same time, there's a line where I knew somebody that had been grown up in a precarious situation, and it was hard for me to understand through the vantage point of a North American mind. And there's a line in there where the character's Filipino, and the heroic man that was trying to solve the problems was like, I don't understand it. And then she's like, you silly man, don't even try and understand. And that one cut me in half and brought me great humility, because I was coming at that character through the eyes of the female. Was she Filipino? The female Filipino.
Well, I think it was kind of like
lead.
a vague, exotic character because I don't like.
I read her as Filipino because it fit with some things that I was dealing
Yeah.
with. But the point is, what I love about reading is putting on somebody else's skin, and when it's done well,
Mhm.
you can go in. You can't experience what it's like to be challenged in ways that but you can have a glimpse of other people's lives, and you try on so many different hats. And I remember when I read Roots, I felt
We do want to.
when
170?
when they cut off Kunta Kinte's foot in Roots. I knew it
170
was happening
on
because
Maryland
my
to
mom
Ben.
watched this miniseries when I was a kid, and I saw glimpses. I would like hide in the room because I was curious about what was happening. And reading Rainbow was so important, and
Mhm.
Star Trek was so important. But that actor had started in Roots, got to start, and so like it's just like this is a core piece of me that I didn't. And I read Roots, and I knew he was going to be punished by having his foot cut off. But I was on the bus when I read it, and it was so abrupt that I yelped, and I think I felt the pain in my foot. And so you have these experiences through books, and I think Neil Gaiman was talking about how it's different watching TV and seeing things happen to other people, or reading books and these things happen to you. And I could talk for hours about it, so I'll try to shut up. But
No, it's okay.
I'm going to assume everybody on the live feed is a reader, as well as you guys.
Okay, Ben got it at 170. No, it was perfect because I wanted to make sure that was settled before the end of the night. So
And you're okay with me selling that?
yeah, Rich.
There were threats earlier today.
There always are. He takes stuff off our walls. I'm like, ah!
That's valid. I would.
There always are threats, but they're empty.
But
They're
think,
empty
think of
threats.
the obligation of that spot on that wall,
Right.
and how it's going to speak to me that I have to replace that spot with something as good as the Maryland painting.
That's pretty powerful.
And that's why it's important to separate from your work.
It is true. And I have to separate from your work. Thank you, everyone. That was very powerful. Actually, that was really I'm always surprised by the evenings, actually. Thank you for staying here. This is
Well,
good.
it's pretty quiet at
Yeah.
6:59, and then a whole bunch of people rolled in, and then
Yeah.
lately, right before the auction, a whole bunch of people roll out, but then a whole bunch of people show up online, and it reads as 10 people online, but sometimes there's 4 people in the room, and they play
Yeah.
this drinking game. When I say something stupid, then they get plastered on their own dime. And are you singing to us?
Yeah.
What are you singing?
Well, it's funny because I was going to sing a Marilyn Monroe song, but then I was like, all of them were like, loved by. Yeah.
I'm
no.
dying to hear you sing that. I'm dying to hear it. You'll sing it to me later.
Yeah.
Okay. But think of all these people at home that'll be sad that you didn't sing for them.
I'll sing a different one that's also good. My baby don't stand no cheating, my baby. Oh yeah, he don't stand no cheating, my babe. Oh yeah, he don't stand no cheating. Don't stand none of that midnight creeping, my babe. Cool little baby, my babe. My babe, I know he loves me, my babe. Oh yes, I know he loves me, my babe. Oh yes, I know he loves me. He don't do nothing but kiss and hug me, my babe. True little baby, my babe. My babe, don't stand no cheating, my babe. Oh yes, he don't stand no cheating, my babe. My baby don't stand no cheating, and everything you do, we do so pleasing, my babe. True little baby, my babe. My babe don't stand no fooling, my babe. Oh yeah, he don't stand no fooling, my babe. My baby don't stand no fooling. When he's hot, there ain't no cooling, my babe. True little baby, my